I wonder if you've seen the story about Nick Mead. I was going to call him Lee Mead, and of course that's wrong. Nick Mead runs a company near Northampton, well, actually near Banbury, I think. I used to go past it regularly. I don't so much now. And he sells tanks. And there's a tank at the end of the road, drawing attention to his business. And through perfectly legal, approved routes, approved by the Department of Trade and Industry, his farm has been providing dozens of bullet point and bomb-proof tanks to frontline troops in Ukraine. As simple as that. And his bank is Barclays. Now, because Barclays have decided in the last few weeks that Tanks a Lot is a high-risk company, they've closed his accounts and he is effectively faced with bankruptcy. And no other bank will take him on. It's extraordinary that in this country we seem to be ruled by bureaucracy. Now, I've changed my own bank once or twice simply because I'm not prepared to tolerate the sort of bureaucratic nonsense that banks often go through at the moment. And the absurd, constant questions which are repetitive and really wasting time wasting. Now, in this particular case, if something has gone through the correct channels and then is destroyed by the bank is there to service our industries. The bank is there as a service provider. It's there and it needs to know its place. And I'm afraid banking has got out of control. It supports many people who are involved in very dodgy activity, and yet when there are straightforward individuals with companies, the banks often let them down. He says that he's sent hundreds of vehicles to Ukraine in the last year, including tanks with guns, but that a bank, Barclays, is driving him out of business. He's been banking with Barclays for 40 years and has never bounced a check, and they haven't even got the decency to explain their decision. That sounds about right. I've been told that I'm on a Russian hit list for the work I'm doing, and I'm prepared to accept the risk to help Ukraine defend itself, but banks worry more about the risk to their balance sheets. It's extraordinary. He's provided 35 Spartan armoured personnel carriers, 25 armoured Land Rovers, some Vector utility vehicles and so on. He says a letter he received from Barclays from their Leicester branch informed him that his account would close on February the 20th, but it didn't explain why. And a spokesperson for the bank said decisions to close customer accounts are only made after very careful consideration and based on all the facts available to us at the time. We apply higher levels of due diligence in order to manage and mitigate risk, especially where third parties are involved. It is quite extraordinary. You may recall, actually, Nick Mead was the person who bought an Iraqi tank on eBay a few years ago in 2017 and later discovered £2 million worth of gold bars concealed inside. You know, tanks for the memories. But it's important. We are providing, in Britain, we say we're providing Challenger tanks, we say we're providing jets, but actually delivering all that requires the work of individuals. Individuals like Nick Mead. And if these are being spiked by nonsensical bureaucracy, either from banks or from the Home Office, then we cannot do our job. It's all rhetoric, it's all hot air. And hot air is not what we need at the moment. What we need is negotiations and support. And if we can't provide either, then we are basically just delivering flatulence. And that won't win a war, and that won't win an argument. It's just noise and a foul smell.